Hello and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. Slowly but surely I'm plodding my way around interesting streets of Blackpool, and I thought this morning while the sun's on it and while it's a lovely day, we're going to take a look at Banquet Street, which of course is this one at the back of us here. So don't forget, make sure if you're new to these parts, make sure that you've subscribed, make sure that you've hit the little bell for notifications, make sure that you've signed up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter. The link for that is in the description underneath the video. And by the way, these are my specially adapted gloves. I can afford a pair without a hole in them, but sadly my finger doesn't operate the camera through the gloves as designed. So come with us, we'll go and find out some interesting facts from the past, and we'll go and take a look at what's there now. So when I set out to do this video, I didn't really know anything about Banquet Street, and I did a little bit of research because it always helps to be prepared before you set off. And of course we are just adjacent to the promenade near Festival House here, and Banquet Street runs all the way from this corner here, in between the side of Viva Show Bar and Pizza Hut H. Samuel's. And it runs right the way down that way up to the corner of McDonald's and Coral Island. So it's quite a long road, relatively, and it's parallel to the promenade all the way along. It's a bit of a wind tunnel in winter, as you'll know if you've been down here once or twice before. And it also gives you a spectacular view of drum roll and fanfare, Blackpool Tower. Is that not just lovely? So I reckon that this street, looking at the research that I've done, dates back to about the late 1890s. And sadly, there's quite a lot of closed stores on here at the moment. I think a lot of that is to do with the weather, because the weather can be really brutal when you're coming down here, and it's a bit outside. It's a bit outside the main drag. This of course is the old W.H. Smith's, and that's a good shop. We've got everything in there. It's one of them shops that's got a bit of everything that you ever wanted. I quite like that reindeer t-shirt. That'd be a nice one for Christmas. It's enough to pay for a Christmas top to wear once or twice. Hole in one. Some of these shops and attractions have got entrances out from this side onto the promenade. So like this one, for example, you can cut through straight onto the prom, and hole in one, this is the exit. So you enter the attraction. It's an adventure golf. So you enter the attraction on the seafront and then exit when you've done all the attraction here. We've got bubble tea and all kinds of different stuff. And this, drum roll and fanfare, these two guys are going to be thinking I'm stalking them. This is what's going to be the Golden Mile Amusements, which is obviously going to be called Blackpool Amusements, judging by the new sign that they're putting up. Oh, there's a door open now. Let's have a look. Let's have a look through this crack. Because you see, the thing is, when you see that and you see complete devastation, well, that's good actually compared to what they got a while ago. When you see diggers and sort of tractors and things inside a building, you realise just how much work they've done to actually make a progress on it. So this, back in the day, used to be Lewis's. And if you're as old in the tooth as I am, you might remember standing looking at these big shop windows as they were then. They were all open windows, these, and they used to have great big toy displays in the window. They were brilliant. And next door, of course, is the lovely Blackpool Tower building. One interesting thing I did discover while I was doing my research is that Bankhead Street was Blackpool's first pedestrianised zone, and it was done in 1973. Just smelling at that girl. And it was actually pedestrianised in 1973. I can't remember. I'd have been quite young at that age, and I can't remember it being anything other than pedestrianised. So it must have been quite a narrow, dangerous street at that point, because I can remember as a kid it being really, really busy down here. The amount of people that pass down here in summer and busy days is quite amazing. So the tower shops, if you remember, this used to be all separate little shops along here. And I can remember when this one used to be news agents, and Stay Blackpool had their offices there for a period of time. And the shops were built in 1894, and then by 1896 they were all being occupied. So going back to what I was saying in a previous video about butchers and bakers and candlestick makers, on here there were 2 milliners, a ship's dealer, a cutler, 2 confectioners, a tobacconist, a hosier, a hairdresser and a bootmaker. And if you look at the building, you can see where it would have been divided up into individual shops. So there would have been quite a few different shops on there. I can distinctively remember going in the news agents that used to be here and buying chocolate and sweets and sitting on these benches and recovering when I'd been walking and doing all kinds of things and tiring myself out. And then of course you must have noticed these. You must have noticed these old original signs above the doors for the circus gallery and the pit and the tower. They're amazing, and they date back to the late 1890s as well, of course, when the building was built. Amazing. One of the things that always sort of stumbles me is street names. I know I'm terrible at street names anyway, but this one of course is Victoria Street, that crosses from the prom up to the Winter Gardens, and we've walked up Victoria Street many times. But there's also lots of different little side streets, and the next one that we're going to come to on the right hand side is Haywood Street, and there's a tale to tell all about that, which you might or might not remember. And then I had another, while I was doing my research, I had another little bit of a moment when the penny finally dropped. My era was a department store called Bins, and you'll realise that I'm showing you the Primark building and the HMV building. Look upwards and you can see that these are all part of a building built at around about the same time, which it was originally the Town Centre. Do you remember Primark as Littlewoods? Originally, this was all RHO Hills, which opened in 1927, and that explains why I can't remember it. I'm not that old. And Hills was eventually Bins Limited, which is what I do remember. I remember ever so clearly going up and down the escalators in the store and all the different departments, and it being absolutely packed with stock. And then from November 1995 to 2006, Primark was of course Littlewoods, no relation, unfortunately. And we always used to shop in Littlewoods. In fact, I've still got clothes in my wardrobe that I bought in this Littlewoods shop. And then that was that. And then it closed, and after 2006, Primark took it over, which is our temple to fast fashion. Waterstones next door has a little bit of a sad story to it. You might remember that the sign blew off the front of the shop in a really bad gale one year. I got quite a surprise. I would have said it was reasonably recent, but I got quite a surprise when I was doing my research this morning, and I discovered that it was actually the 12th of January 2015. didn't think it's so long ago, so that's like 7 years ago. And the sign blew off and it killed employee Margaret Sheridan outright. It was quite a, if I remember rightly, I think it was up there on that fascia board, and it was quite a to-do at the time, as you can imagine. So this is Haywood Street. Now, if you're as long in the tooth as I am, there's no road sign on it, but according to Google Maps, this is Haywood Street, and it's a dead end at the other end as well now, and it used to be a little bit of a through road. And this is where the animals used to come out of the Tower Circus. So there were doors on this side, and they used to bring them out and bring the elephants out and take them onto the beach for their exercise and for the bath in the sea. And when you walked past here, past this corner of the dungeon, it always smelled of hay and manure and animals, because it obviously, I mean, I'd never been down there, but it obviously vented out from the access in that corner. All these things, all these ghosts and traces of the past that have disappeared. We've not finished here. We've not finished on the corner of where the elephants were kept, because Pancake Street carries on for a little while further along this corner to McDonald's and Coral Island. So this one next on the right here is Adelaide Street West. Didn't know that. The things you find out, it's really quite interesting. And of course, this is the Sands venue, the hotel and bars, and the Showtown Museum, which is going upstairs. Showtown opens next year, and they've got some boards and information on the hoarding opening spring 23. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think that'll be really good. And this, just before we go any further, of course, is the Hounshill Shopping Centre. And I knew that one of the roads in this area was called Hounshill, and I couldn't quite remember which one. Anyway, I've got to the bottom of it. In the end. It's between Sands and the Coral Island. So it's this little bit of road here, which of course is pedestrianised. And that, on your right here, is actually Hounshill. 2 separate words. And I can't walk past TK Maxx without showing you my favourite shop, can I? That would be very churlish. Ooh, that's bright. I've lost Woolworths. Where's Woolworths? I always think it's confusing from this side, but this big cream building is the back of Woolworths. And if we just go a little bit to the side, let's see if we can just catch the clock, which has been recently renovated and restored, and it looks rather sparkling, I have to say, with the scaffolding down and the sun on it. There you go, there's the clock. So that's a lot more obvious from the front, and it's the home now to Wetherspoons, Albert and Lion. Doesn't that look nice? Does look lovely. So Woolworths first came to Blackpool in 1916, and they bought 53 to 65. Oh, sorry. They bought 53 to 65 of Bankay Street and the Promenade, and very quickly bought all the surrounding buildings, because at that point, when it was full of butchers, bakers and candlestick makers, this would have all been little individual shops and little streets and back alleys and whatnot. And in 1936 they began building this building. Just think, 1936. And today it just looks so familiar and so normal. And it's a 6th floor triangular store. That's quite poetic. And was fully opened by May 1938, and at the time it was the largest and the most modern of 2,000 Woolies shops across the world. I didn't know that. See, the things you learn, and that's the Star Flyer. Just in that gap there, just above that cabin. And at the time it was the most ambitious building in Blackpool, and it dominated the skyline. This cream stone is actually a glazed terracotta brick called faience, and as new, it has a marble finish to it, and with its bronze window frames and the clock tower, it fair stood out like a big gleaming cream building. It closed in January 2009 and it's been price busters and various different things since then. So we'll go to the end of Bankay Street and we've got another interesting building on this corner at the left, which you might remember. You might remember from back in the day. I've actually got a picture of my mum, Chrissy, sat on one of the bollards, as was. I think there's a railing there now. She was sat on a bollard outside what used to be Marks and Spencer's.
How are you, Sarah?
So these, I think we might need to cross the road and then we can see what we're looking at. So these buildings, let's just cross the road. Oh. That's better. It's lovely, this sunshine, but it's a bit bright when you're looking into it. So these buildings here are known as the Edith Centre. And if you look up at the clock on the end of McDonald's, just up there, it's named the Edith Centre after the wife of one of the directors of the company that bought it off Marks and Spencer's, but you might remember it as Marks and Spencer's back in the day, and it opened in 1939 and closed in 1980. And as I say, there's a picture of Chrissy sat on a bollard here outside the shop. McDonald's opened in 1982, so I would imagine at the time McDonald's was quite a new thing in Britain. I can remember them being all over the news every time they opened a new shop. So that brings us to the end of Bankay Street. You carry on in that direction and that's Central Drive, with Central Car Park on the right hand side here. You can just see the top of yet another crane. In fact, if we go just a little bit further, you'll see the concrete work that they're building for the new multi-storey car park. You see that big cream slab there in centre shot. That's the new concrete work for the new multi-storey that's been built at Blackpool Central development. That's Central Drive. This is Albert Road as you go in that direction. So Bankay Street finishes here, and here's another lovely shot of the Blackpool Tower. Wouldn't be me, would it, if I didn't finish on a look up at Blackpool Tower. So I hope you found that interesting to look at what's there today, and interesting to see what used to be there back in the past. It's a busy road. It's always busy with people and traffic, and particularly this corner. And that's just me heading in and out of TK Maxx. Make sure that you've subscribed. Make sure that you've hit the little bell for notifications. Make sure that you've signed up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.